There's so many different things that we do that never truly served us, but we got in the habit of doing. And you have to take inventory, if you will, of whether or not that particular thing is serving us towards or getting us or moving us toward where we truly want to be in our relationships. And again, this is coming from a husband standpoint.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point, you realized you were married into crazy.
And that's what our podcast is all about. We offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as we unpack this crazy thing called marriage.
So sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
All right, let's go.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy ET. Look, if you're looking to or you got to raise the bar on your marriage, you gotta click the link and get into Married into Crazy, y'all. I'm telling you, this coaching is gonna take your relationship to another level. Now look, you already know you need to raise the bar. You know that already. So stop thinking or overthinking. Click that link, and Marriage into Crazy is gonna take you and your spouse to marital bliss. Now you know. Click the button. Let's go.
Welcome to another episode of Married into Crazy with Snooks and Lovey. I'm Lovey, and as you can tell, there is no Snooks in this particular episode. We're trying something a little different. There were some recommendations that came in from some of the listeners, and we're going to take you up on that. So this is nice. This is creative direction coming from all of you, or at least a good portion of you. So we were asked to potentially branch off and every now and then offer something from the male perspective, and then again, by me, and then also have a female's perspective on maybe a different topic. So what we're going to start calling these segments when it's just me is a ManCave moment. I mean, that's tentatively what I'm going to call it. It may change, but that's what I'm going to really call it right now. So thank you for your input. Thank you. We love listening to you and giving you what you've asked for. So we're going to experiment a little bit and try this out. So this is only going to be a few minutes as well. But this last weekend, I had the opportunity to break away from the house and go to a conference. It was the 120 conference that was started by Eric Thomas. And E.T., who you know is my mentor, had a phenomenal conference. This is the first time I saw a lot of people in the community since 2019, I believe, 2020, the beginning of 2020, maybe. And it was nice. It was a bit of a family reunion. But more than that, it was an opportunity to sit down and listen to some great teachings from people like Eric Thomas, Inky Johnson, Rory Vaden, Jamal King, Jenna Kutcher. There was Drew. There was Mustafa Gonam. There were so many different individuals that spoke this weekend, and it was a 2-day event. It was absolutely awesome. And there were a lot of nuggets that I took away from that. But one of the things that stood out to me that Dr. Eric Thomas said in the very beginning was that we really need to take note, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, but take note of the things that are serving us, the things that are serving us that are healthy. Because a lot of times we do things and we continue to do them, even if it's not a healthy habit, something that we've gotten used to just out of the fact that we're familiar with it, right? Something that we've done that isn't necessarily serving us well anymore. And it's one of those things when it's unhealthy, whether it's drinking, smoking, arguing with our spouse, always having to be right. There's so many different things that we do that never truly served us, but we got in the habit of doing. And you have to take inventory, if you will, of whether or not that particular thing is serving us towards or getting us or moving us toward where we truly want to be in our relationships. And again, this is coming from a husband standpoint. And it made me really think about this philosophy that I have, and I've picked up over the years. There's a light and a darkness in each and every one of us. Even in the Bible, it talks about, the light and the dark. And it's metaphorically speaking to God and the enemy. Each and every one of us have a little bit, we're all of God, but we also have some light in us, and we also have some darkness in us, which is much akin to the old, I think it was a Japanese proverb, but it talks about the two wolves. That each and every one of us has two wolves that are inside of us. There is a light wolf and a dark wolf. And the light wolf is everything positive that you could possibly think of. It's love, it's understanding, it's crazy. It's all the principles upon which we teach on crazy. It's about being compassionate. The light wolf is real, staying based in reality. The light wolf is open to accountability. It's open to being joyous and zealous for the relationship that they're in. It's also very yielding and actually recognizing that some other individuals have strengths, like your spouse has strengths that you don't particularly have. And so you yield to that. That is the white wolf. But then you have the dark wolf. And the dark wolf has a tendency to, I don't know, personify all those things that are negative in our relationships. It's that light and dark concept. And in the darkness, there can be no light, because if there is light within darkness, then it's no longer truly dark. But so many times and so often our relationships go dark because we're feeding the dark wolf, right? We're feeding the not conflict, but combat. We're, I guess, giving people, or giving the people that we love, the worst part of ourselves. Anger, resentment, jealousy, all those things that you really don't want to flourish in your relationship. But sometimes, based on a habit, things that have happened in the past, the scar tissue that we've developed, sometimes those things come to the forefront and it's hard to push them aside. Well, one thing that Dr. Eric Thomas, as well as Inky and Rory and so many others talked about, even Drew, who's working with high caliber athletes in the NBA and a variety of other sports, it's interesting. Everything comes down to a decision. Everything. It really is that simple. Having the discipline to make a decision and standing on that and moving forward in that particular decision. And what I'm going to ask you today is, as a husband, fellas, this is just us talking. I know some of the ladies are listening, but make a decision to feed the wolf that is serving your relationship. Choose the light, right? Choose the light, meaning choose those things that are going to truly benefit your relationship, because it really is just a choice. Sometimes, yeah, you might think that, oh, well, if I do this, I'm just going to be a punk. Well, then be a punk. Be a punk for your wife. Be a punk for your children. I don't think you are a punk. I'm not a punk. I'm just saying that because I know the way I was brought up. That's sometimes how people, the rhetoric that people used. Like, oh, she got you wide open. Yeah, she does. And I love it because my life has harmony. My children are happy for the most part. I have grandchildren that look up to me. I have a life I love to live. We want to get you into a position to where the life you're living is greater than anything you could possibly dream or imagine. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you're feeding the light wolf, feeding the light in your life, and really starving the wolf that is dark, the one that represents all the negative things in your relationship, in your life, that you really need to put some distance between you and it. So that's it. That's that man cave moment today. It's short, it's brief. I hope you liked it. And I think that if we get good feedback, we're going to continue to do this. And Snooks has to name her segment, but I believe she said she was tossing around the idea of, oh, you know what? I'll let her tell you. So then until the next time that we come together in, the man cave, and we have that man cave moment, be blessed.